The wedding invitation sat on my kitchen table like a polished dagger, beautiful but sharp. Victoria's elegant handwriting outlined every detail of her flawless day, even including the pointed note forbidding handmade gifts. It had been 5 years since Dad vanished, leaving only a letter about protecting his legacy. Victoria dismissed him as a failed businessman who abandoned us, but I knew the truth. "You're really going?" my best friend Amy asked, eyeing the envelope. After everything Victoria had done, stealing my college fund by claiming Dad gave it to her, spreading rumors I was adopted because I didn't fit the family image, mocking my career as a kindergarten teacher while she climbed the corporate ladder, I still had to be there. "I have to," I murmured, carefully wrapping the gift I'd spent 6 months crafting, a hand-carved wooden jewelry box with a secret compartment. "He's watching?" Amy asked. "Your dad? He's been gone 5 years." If only she understood the cryptic instructions he left through his lawyer, the secret tasks he'd set for us while quietly safeguarding everything he built. Victoria's wedding to James Wellington was the event of the season, old money marrying sharp ambition. The society pages didn't mention that James's company, Wellington Technologies, had been quietly buying shares of Dad's old firm through hidden channels. The big day arrived, bright and flawless, just like Victoria. I stepped into the Plaza Hotel ballroom, my modest blue dress a stark contrast to the designer gowns around me. "Emma," Victoria's voice dripped saccharine sweetness. "You actually came, and brought a gift." She held the box like it might stain her designer dress. "It's a jewelry box," I began. "I carved it myself." "Of course," she sneered. "Because you can't buy a proper gift, just like you can't buy a proper dress for my wedding." She dropped the box on a nearby table, not even glancing inside. "Victoria," I tried again, "you need to know something about Dad." "Don't," she snapped, her veneer cracking. "Don't you dare speak of him. He left us nothing but debt and empty promises. But look at me now, marrying real wealth, real power. And you? Teaching children and making crafts." James appeared, his smile sharp and calculated. "Darling, it's time. The shareholders are waiting." "Shareholders?" I asked innocently, though I already knew. "Yes," Victoria preened. "James's company is finally taking over Dad's failing firm." Poetic, isn't it? As they walked off, my phone buzzed, a message from Dad's lawyer. "It's time. The real shareholders are here." I touched the simple pendant around my neck, the key to everything Dad had orchestrated. Victoria had no idea her perfect day was about to unravel. The chandeliers sparkled as James took the stage, Victoria beaming. 300 of New York's elite waited for the big announcement. "Ladies and gentlemen," James began, "today is not just a wedding, it's a celebration of business triumph. Wellington Technologies is proud to announce our acquisition of Chen Innovations." Polite applause rippled through the room. Victoria's smile widened. "This marks the final chapter of the Chen legacy, a history of failure that ends today as we transform it into something worthy of the Wellington name." I gripped my champagne glass tighter. If only they knew that Dad's outdated company had secretly developed quantum-level technology that made Wellington systems look like toys. "Calculators." James raised his glass with a gleam of triumph. "To my stunning bride," he toasted, "who made this acquisition possible by sharing inside information about her father's company." The crowd laughed politely. Victoria practically radiated pride, openly flaunting her betrayal of Dad. Then the ballroom doors swung wide. Mr. Patterson, Dad's aged lawyer, entered, flanked by a team of sharp-suited executives. In his hands was the wooden jewelry box, the gift Victoria had tossed aside. "I apologize for the interruption," he announced, his voice cutting through the sudden hush. "But I believe there's been a misunderstanding about who is acquiring whom." Victoria's smile froze. "What are you talking about?" "The key, Emma," Mr. Patterson said. My fingers shook as I removed the pendant from around my neck and approached the box. The piece fit perfectly into a hidden lock I'd carved on the bottom. Inside weren't jewels, but documents, ownership papers, patents, and most damning of all, proof that Victoria had been selling company secrets to Wellington Technologies. "What is this?" James demanded, stepping down from the stage. "Evidence," Mr. Patterson replied evenly, "of corporate espionage, insider trading, and attempted theft of proprietary technology, all tucked inside Miss Emma's handmade gift, which, ironically, neither of you even bothered to examine." Victoria laughed nervously. "This is absurd. Emma's just a teacher, she knows nothing about business." Mr. Patterson raised an eyebrow. "Perhaps he'd like to explain these." Documents flickered onto the ballroom's giant screens, years of secret correspondence between Victoria and Wellington Technologies, meticulously plotting the hostile takeover of Chen Innovations. As Victoria's perfect day unraveled, I noticed something odd in James's expression. He didn't look shocked, he looked satisfied. "Actually," he said smoothly, "we expected this." He tapped his phone. Instantly, every exit in the ballroom sealed with heavy security doors. "Did you really think," he said, his smile cold, "we wouldn't have a backup plan?" That's when I realized this was bigger than acquiring Dad's company, much darker, far more dangerous. "You see," James continued, holding Victoria possessively, "we knew your father was still alive. We knew he was watching. The acquisition announcement, it was all bait to draw him out." Victoria's flawless makeup couldn't hide her shock. "What? James, what are you saying?" "Oh, darling," he cooed condescendingly, "you think I married you for love? You were a tool, feeding us intel on your father's company. The real prize was always the quantum competitive technology." Mr. Patterson stepped forward. "That technology, you'll never touch it." James laughed. "Oh? My teams are raiding every Chen Innovations site worldwide. The security codes Victoria provided unlocked everything." "They expired years ago," I said quietly. "Those codes?" Victoria's face fell. "She's been feeding us useless information for 5 years," I continued. "Dad changed them the day he disappeared." James's confident smile faltered. "Impossible." "Our hackers confirmed." A new voice rang out from the back. "Really, James? Did you think I wouldn't protect my daughter, even from you?" The crowd parted. There he was, Dad, older, grayer, but his eyes still sharp and brilliant. "Daddy!" Victoria whispered. James barked orders into his phone. "Execute Protocol Omega. Wipe everything." Screens around the room lit up, showing Chen Innovations sites worldwide. But instead of chaos, each facility ran normally. "Looking for your strike teams?" Dad asked calmly. "They're all having coffee, with federal agents. Excellent coffee, by the way, from the cafe where my youngest daughter worked part-time while secretly monitoring our global security." "Protocols." I smiled, recalling the early mornings spent making lattes while secretly monitoring the company's quantum encryption network on a modest laptop. James drew a gun. "This isn't finished. The quantum competing patents alone are worth billions. Victoria, tell them, where are the backup servers?" But Victoria froze, finally realizing just how thoroughly she had been manipulated. Then the wooden jewelry box began to hum. It wasn't just a gift, it was a disguised quantum processor. Holograms sprang to life, filling the ballroom with images of secret meetings between James and his true employers. "You weren't with Wellington Technologies at all," I said. Piece by piece, it clicked. "You work for the Harrison Group, the Chen family's oldest rivals." James's face twisted in fury. "How did you?" "The coffee shop," Dad said, calm and proud. "Emma didn't just serve coffee, she served it to your boss, Richard Harrison himself, every morning. She overheard every plan, right under your nose." Victoria sank into a chair, her wedding gown pooling around her. "All this time, you were just using me?" she whispered. "Of course," I said gently. "Just like the Harrison Group used Dad's old partner 20 years ago. That's why he vanished, to protect us from their reach." "Uncle Robert?" Victoria's voice shook. You said he died in an accident. An accident arranged by the Harrison Group, I finished. He refused to steal Dad's research. Dad left to shield us while collecting evidence, not because he failed. James leveled his gun. Enough. The servers don't exist. Dad stepped forward calmly. The quantum technology was never stored on servers. It's been hidden in plain sight, inside everyday objects my talented daughter has been creating for years. Holograms shifted, showing my kindergarten classroom. Every handmade craft, student art project, even the coffee shop's pastries were part of a vast, decentralized quantum system. Dad taught me more than woodworking, I said. While Victoria traded outdated secrets, I was building something revolutionary, something unstealable because it exists everywhere and nowhere at once. Federal agents emerged from the crowd. James frantically searched for a way out but found none. Victoria, tell them, they're lying, he cried. You've seen the files, she said quietly, tears streaking her makeup. The only files I saw were the ones you showed me to trick me into betraying our family. She rose, trembling. I thought I was proving I was cleverer than Emma, but I was only a pawn. Agents moved in. Dad approached Victoria. I'm sorry I had to disappear, he said, but I needed to know which daughter would choose truth over ambition, love over greed. The real company, I added softly, was never just about technology. It was about Dad's legacy, teaching us that true value isn't measured by what you own, but by what you create and protect. A year later, Chen Innovations stepped into the spotlight, revolutionizing quantum computing. Victoria now leads our charitable foundation, using her social skills to help rather than harm. James and the Harrison Group faced justice for years of corporate malfeasance. The wooden jewelry box sits in our company museum alongside a simple coffee cup and a child's art project, reminders that the most powerful things sometimes come in the simplest forms. Every morning, I still make coffee for our employees in our building's cafe because, as Dad always says, the best way to protect what's valuable is to love it enough to nurture it. Victoria and I are finally true sisters, our bond strengthened by everything we endured. She still attends society events, but now she probably showcases my handmade creations, each one either hiding revolutionary tech or just a token of love. No one knows for sure. And that's exactly how we like it.